Okay, welcome back to basic Onshape training, and this is going to be the, what's the word, I don't know, the sum of everything you've learned so far. Okay, so we're going to be using all these tools to make one thing. That thing is going to be your name. If you remember, we did this little activity with extrudes only at the beginning of the class, I guess. Okay, but this time I want you to use each of these tools at least once when making your name. Okay? And if you've got a name that doesn't have much, curves for like a revolve, figure it out. You can always just make like the top of an A, for example, curved, if that's what you want to do. But fortunately for me, my name is kind of easy, Kian, in terms of using these. But I will do my best to demonstrate the different ways in which you can use these. Okay, so let us begin. So to start, I'm going to make the C. So I'm just going to make the start of the C in the center of the plane, and my name will just go out this way. So it won't be centered, but whatever. So for this, I'm going to use a revolve. It already looks like a C, so yeah. Okay. Now I'm just going to make this more complicated than it needs to be, just for the sake of you guys. You may as well learn, right? Okay, so I'm going to make a plane that is a line angle. Okay, so it's going to be on this line, right? And you can just make a plane that's just rotated at any angle around this line. Quite useful, I would say. Okay, so let's say 45, does that work? Yeah, let's do 45 degrees. Cool. So now I've got a plane like this. I'm going to sketch on that plane. And I'm just going to make a circle, let's say 1 inch wide, and the distance away from the origin will be, let's say, 3 inches. Okay. Cool. Now, I have everything I need to make a C, if you believe it. So I'm just going to go to revolve. I'm going to select this face that I've made, the revolve axis, and now we have an O. Yay. So instead of using a full revolve, we're just gonna use a One Direction. Love that band. Okay, and just 270 degrees, and we've got C. But maybe, just to be extra fancy, we're gonna use a fillet at the end, which will create you can kind of see, just a curved end, okay? And a chamfer will just make another, not curved, but just make the ends look fancier, So the width of this was 1 inch, so I'm just going to make it 0.5 to have a beautiful rounded end. And I'm just going to click this edge too and have it do the same thing. Boom. We've got a C. Yay. Okay. Next, what are we going to do? We are going to, let's see, we're going to make the eye, and let's use a sweep to do that, shall we? And no, it's not just going to be like a bar. We're going to make it slightly angled, maybe italicized for no reason, but, it'll look cool. Okay, so I'm going to make an offset plane. So planes, as you can probably tell, are one of the most used things in Onshape. Okay, I'm just going to make it ideally around the bottom of the C. Yeah, so 3.5 it looks like. Alright. Cool. And then I'm also going to make a plane, again, 3.5, inches from the top plane, just on the other side. Okay. So now, I'm going to sketch on this plane. Right, and I'm going to make a construction line and just bring this a little bit away. Okay, now I'm going to make a center point rectangle. Yes, that is going to be 1 inch wide, to keep with the width we've got going, and let's say 2 inches long. Okay, and then I'm going to make a smaller 1 by 1 square. And if you remember the last video, when in doubt, just delete your problems from existence. And yeah, you're good. Okay. So now, got that, and we're just going to make it the same thing on the top plane, except we're just going to move it over a bit. So we're going to use all of this. Give it to me, thank you. So now we've just got the same thing we made down there up here. Yeah, so I'm just going to make this rectangle right here be this rectangle down here, effectively moving everything over, right? So I'm just going to make our 1 by 1 square here, and then just make our 1/2 inch by 1 inch rectangle there. Okay, I'm just going to delete this from existence because I don't care for it anymore. And I'm just literally hitting the delete key when I delete these. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is the following. I'm going to extrude this up a little bit, maybe like 2.5, is that too small? No, we can change it later if it's too small. Seems fine to me though for now. Okay, I'm just doing the same thing up here. Like so. Okay, and now I'm going to use the... Wait, did I say I was going to use the... Oh yeah, I said I was going to use sweep. Right. Kinda thought I was doing a loft there, but whatever. Like I could have done, just lofted these things together, like so, to make our kind of diagonal eye. Whatever, I'm a man of my word, I will do what I said I would do. Okay, so I'm just going to use this point, and use this point, and just draw a line between them. Okay, and that will just be the path for a sweep. So I'm going to go sweep, select our face and our sweep path, and then boom, sweep acquired. Okay, and now I'm just going to make these visible and extrude these edges up to meet this. So I believe I put it at 0.25, like so. Okay, I'm just going to do the same thing up here. Okay, like that. Okay, and you will notice that my eye is 3 different colors, which is, yeah, ugly. We can't stand for any of that around here. So I'm just going to select these 3 parts right here. You can also individually select them, like so. And I'm going to hit the Venn diagram looking thing, which is called Boolean. Okay, and a Boolean will literally just... You can use subtract and intersect to do some fancier things, but for this instance we're just going to use union, which will just make all 3 of these parts the same part. Beautiful. There's our eye. And also, because we're cool, we're going to change the color, right? So you change the color by right-clicking the surface, and then you hit Edit Appearance. Edit Appearance. Okay, what happened there? And then you can choose your color. So you've got a mix, you've got your RGB things, but you can also change the transparency here, so we can make it like completely invisible if we wanted to, except for the lines. You can still see the lines. Yeah, but let's put it almost completely not, what's the word? Almost completely opaque. Vocab word for you there. Okay. Okay, and I'm just gonna change the eye as well, just cause, you know, it's gotta be done. Let's see, what color do we want? Sure, that'll do. Beautiful. Okay. Next is the A. Exciting. So, I've already used the revolve, the extrude, and the sweep. So, I'm just gonna I'm gonna be lazy, okay? Deal with it. I'm just gonna be lazy and use an extrude for the A, okay? And it will be the worst A you have ever seen in your life. Just so I can, you know, skip to the rather fun using the lofts for the N. Boom. Have you ever seen anything more beautiful in your entire life? Absolutely not. You are lying if you said yes there. Okay. Oh, it's kind of sad. This ugly A next to these decent looking letters. No, whatever. Okay. Now for the N. Yay. So for the N, I'm going to... So, I'm just gonna make a sketch real quick to show you my general idea, right? Done. Okay, so this part right here is just gonna be extruded, okay? It's gonna be like a square extruded, right? And then this one will be like a tube extruded, right? And then this will be a loft between the square up here and the circle down here, right? And I reckon it'll look cool. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna just make a sketch here, and it's going to just be a square right there. Very precise location. Okay. And that's going to just be extruded 7 inches, just like this one, I believe. Which, I don't know why I set that as 2 inches, I'm dumb. Okay, 1 inch. There we go. Okay, and that looks like about the right width. So, yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna extrude both of these 7 inches. Okay, then we've got the ends of our N. The ends of our N. Okay. So now I'm just gonna loft this to that. And that is twisting. Yeah, okay, so if you remember in the loft video, I mentioned how like guides need to run smoothly to like their corresponding points, and if not, it will look bad. Yeah, this is what I meant by that. So see how it's rotating there and looks, yeah, at best. So unfortunately, I am going to have to do a bit more work, it would seem. Yay. Okay. So I'm just going to make a sketch on the front plane, and I'm going to try it with a path, because paths will be easier, generally speaking, to like make it work. But if that does not work, I will have to use guides and stuff, which is not very fun, I will admit. Okay, so now we've just got our path right here. I'm just gonna make a straight path, you know. So we're gonna go loft our square to our circle, to our circle, and then for the path, it's just gonna be this line. Does that fix it? Absolutely not. Why would it fix it? That would be helpful. Okay. So, since it didn't fix it, I'm going to have to use guides and stuff. Yay. Okay. I'm just gonna delete the sketch because not very useful. Okay, so now I'm going to sketch from this point to this edge here. So I'm just gonna use that. So you can see we're just tangent to this circle and on the edge of this. So I'm just gonna draw a line down from there to there, like so. Cool. And then I'm going to make the same thing on the other side, like so. Okay. There we go. Now hopefully this will work and I won't have to add more guidelines because that would be annoying to say the least. So we're just going to loft those two together with the guides of this. Aha! And it worked. Yay, it's cause for celebration. Okay, so we can see how like this rectangular shape kind of slowly transitions into a square over time. Cool! Okay, now I'm just gonna boolean all of those real quick. Just slap them all together. We need a cooler color, obviously. Let's see, we've already got these kind of red colors, maybe like a teal. Just completely invisible, maybe. Maybe like a really barely visible, like 0.3. Okay. Cool. Okay. So there you have it. There is the main project. So the most common issues you will probably run into is your revolve isn't working, right? So like that's probably just because your shape is either it's intersecting with your axis of rotation, right? Or it is too big for too tight of a turn, if that makes sense. Yeah. So just make it smaller or make your path bigger. Okay, for the sweep, so actually I'll demonstrate this one real quick. Okay, so if I've got some circle, right, and let's say it's 2 inches, right, and then, oh wait, okay, I'm just gonna make this in line with everything, I guess. I'm just gonna make that in line with the origin for reasons. Okay, there we go. Okay, and so now I'm just going to make a sketch on the front plane. So see now that the front plane, the line I'm about to draw will hit the center of this. Okay, now if you draw a sweep path that is too, oopsies, that is too convoluted, there is another vocab word for you. Like if it turns too close to itself, like that probably, it just won't work. Okay, you can probably see it here. Yeah, it makes this ugly error thing. But you see how like it's intersecting with itself, like everywhere. Yeah, that's just not good. So you can either use a smaller thing to, you can use a smaller circle. So let's just make it like 0.2, like really tiny. That should fix it. Yeah, right. Or you make your sweep path less convoluted, like so. Just gonna move all the points away from each other like this. Why is that? Okay. Again, just delete your problems. We need to go higher. Sorry. Yeah, but you can just make your sweep path slightly bigger. Just avoid that, and I reckon that will work. Apparently not. Oh, I think it's maybe that. Yeah, okay, those turns are too tight. Okay. Anyway, you get the general idea, Eric. Just see how like this kind of folds in on itself because the circle's too big for this turn. Yeah, so just avoid that. Yeah. Again, there's that problem with the lofts where it kind of twists, and you can just fix that with guidelines, as I showed you. So, yeah. Let's get rid of that. Makes it look less good. Okay. And we'll just, make everything look fancy. And I'm also going to hide all the sketches. Hide the origin, just cause. Is there a way to hide sketch lines? Okay. There's probably a way to hide sketch lines, I just don't know it right now. So yeah, there's my name, and I hope you were able to make yours as well, Okay, so next time we're gonna be moving away from the more basic stuff, or, relatively speaking. So, yeah, I will see you next time. Goodbye.